course having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Are you kidding me? Now more than ever, we have more female CEOs, we have more female homeowners. Women are absolutely dominating in every single form in society, whereas men continue to decline.
You are across the world, welcome back to the channel. Now there's a lot that goes on out here, and especially when it comes to the kind of propaganda that is spread across how useful men are. You know, I've never actually had to do a video like this because we all know how useful we are. We make and maintain everything. It's really that simple, and we defend everyone or protect everyone. But as it is, you know, every now and then you'll have one of these harpies come online trying to tell you how they don't need men or whatever other silly reason there is. Now, we are going to S. Nate's channel for a reaction which he just names, "What a stupid bee." Even him is hard enough. So we are going to listen in and find out exactly what this particular person is talking about. And then we can glean some lessons from it.
Mainstream men are falling behind narrative was always meant to be a weapon against men, even when it was presented as sympathy or treated like it was true.
Of course having a boyfriend is embarrassing. Are you kidding me? Now more than ever, we have more female CEOs, we have more female homeowners. Women are absolutely dominating in every single form in society, whereas men continue to decline.
Now, you know exactly why this guy called this video what he's called it. You've heard the first few lines. It's all lies, it's nonsense, it's this bravado and this propaganda that has been fed into these women's heads that they can actually do, that they actually think that the things that have been built, the buildings, the sewage, the roads, the fields, the everything, their tampons, their phones, their chairs, their tables, every little thing, toothpaste, everything. They actually think it just happens. They know the factory will make it. This is the level of intellect we have to deal with every day, because yes, a lot has gone wrong in the manosphere, if you like, where in the men's world basically. But these delusional females don't understand that the worse it gets for men, the worse it gets for them, because they think Big Daddy government is made up of who? You know, there's this pandering that has gone on for so long that these people actually think that when they call a policeman, they don't connect that that's actually a man that's coming to save them from a situation. Anyway, let me continue.
The men are getting uglier, the women are getting more beautiful, the men are getting dumber, the women are getting smarter. Women are pursuing the arts, their dreams, their goals. Men have none.
They're getting hotter with the fake eyelashes, BBLs, fake hair. Look at this one. Do you see this person who looks like an adolescent boy talking trash? You know, some of these things, I still believe a lot of these things are said as rage bait, because a person like this really doesn't have the talent to sustain interest from people to watch what they're saying, because they don't have anything of meaning except the arrogance to share. But anyway, let's continue and see.
It seems like the vast majority of all men are bums and losers, and the ones that do make money are fucking narcissistic and evil as shit. There is absolutely no benefit in being with a man. Stick with me. For generations, the one benefit of being with a man was financial. Now that is going away. That is a rare benefit to even find in a man in a romantic partner.
That's exactly what I was telling you. You know, the brain is small. There are about 4 brain cells, and all of the 4 brain cells are fighting for supremacy. They are all losing. She thinks it's only about money. She's in a car made by men. All the security around her to put up her phone and record. She doesn't understand there are parts in the world where she'll go put up her phone and somebody will break the window and take the phone and go. Probably smack her while at it. You see, the Western woman has become a really insufferable human being. One of the worst things that has ever happened in the world is this the these currents that the West has imposed upon the world. I heard somebody describe it as a Karenocracy. You are giving very mediocre people power. And they are getting really arrogant because of it. They will never really have to work for it, and they have it. Now they think that their mediocrity is actually a high level. You see, how else do you convince a person like this that they're not really that good when they've really received everything? They're driving a car. You know, a lot of people can't conceptualize because they've not lived in the West and the third world to understand that even sitting in this car right now, she's already overperforming. She doesn't have to do much to have a car. So anyway, let's continue.
These men don't want to fucking help you. And let's say you do actually bag a man who has money. Going back to my previous statement, the ones that do have money are narcissistic and evil. So that man is forever going to hold his finances over your head.
Yeah, so real quick, she's kind of regurgitating the men are falling behind thing, except she's saying it with clear contempt instead of the kind of fake concern that it will usually hide behind. And, you know, that's why you have to be kind of careful with these so-called male advocates who will repeat, you know, talking points about male loneliness, fewer men in college, or men falling behind. Like, if they want to...
I can tell you this for free. I don't care about those talking points, the male loneliness things. For me, is if you're lonely, get over it. I don't care about it. It's not important. People are elevating this effeminate problems, effeminate issues to become everybody's issue, that now you have to care that, oh, I'm lonely. I don't have a woman. I sleep alone. Like, who cares? Actually, for me, if I have a friend that is that way, I disconnect because I cannot have that level of limp spine around me. You shouldn't either, because think about it. Like, speaking that you are lonely and what it means, you're more like a woman. That's the truth. Most of history, men have had to be by themselves building things, going somewhere far to build a big bridge to do something, going to defend people somewhere and die off. It's always been that way. The fact that these days you can sit in your house, you have your computer, you have your entertainment, good food, you have your little car down there, whatever. The fact that you have that and you're complaining about loneliness, to me, it shows first you're not really appreciating what your ancestors have done. And secondly, you are the weaker version of the ancestors that should have been bred out. That's what I think. I honestly don't care when people talk about loneliness epidemic. Who cares? I guess because personally I prefer to live alone. I don't understand this male loneliness epidemic nonsense. I think it's propaganda. It's always been and it's feminist propaganda, worse of it. And a lot of men are falling for it. Stop it already.
Explicitly call out feminism as the root cause, you know, before prefacing it with like, oh, well, first and second wave was cool, and then a bunch of other disclaimers. They're useless. Like, when all they do is talk about how men are doing wrong, how men need help, they empower the exact women who hate men and talk like the one in this clip.
Exactly.
They enforce the idea that men are defective and women are superior, which of course is not accurate.
And you see, the thing, how they do it mostly is that they just let these narratives flourish in various media, social media, movies, TV, even at the workplace, wherever you are, the propaganda is constantly there. That's how it is pushed. So a lot of people are not able to connect it. Even now, because there are a lot of platforms, if you just put male-centric stuff there, they shut it down. But this kind of talk will be allowed and even be pushed. I just thought that should be explained.
And that shit leads directly to claims like hers to be weaponized. Oh, women are, you know, outperforming men. Women are dominating society. Women own more homes. Men can't keep up. Men suck, right? They're ugly. They're lonely. And they're broke bums. And it's like the future is female. You see, do you get it now? This is where it always leads. And
it's always just slogans, nothing real. All those are just slogans, but in the reality, If you look around you, you'll see the reality. A lot of people are closed into these social media narratives on the side, because not all of them are wrong. There's some narratives that are true, that are data-based, and you should actually be able to discern that and be able to counter-check with real life what goes on. That's really the work that we do. As much of this information has to go out there, because everybody has got their aims and goals, and really the best you can do is collect as much information from as many sources as possible and see if you can make a good decision. That's all you can do.
Again, if we look at neat numbers, not in education, employment, or training, women actually have higher rates. That alone contradicts the narrative. There are also not more female CEOs. Sure, there's more than in the past, but if you're trying to compare that to men as if they are dominating men in that way, it's just not true. And women actually are elevated into these leadership roles. There is an incentive for them to be there. Companies will benefit from being seen as, progressive, right? And that incentive exists whether people want to admit it or not, whether it's on paper or not. And even with that, women still do not dominate leadership, right?
And that's the bottom line, because let's think about it, because that's really what I wanted to come across and say, because a lot of these things are simply lies. If you think about when they talk about the wage gap, they know it's nonsensical, but they keep repeating it. It's because it suits the propaganda and the narrative. To them, it doesn't matter whether it's true or not. The fact that they can keep insisting that something is a fact, even if normally what happens is that they take something that's happening in real life and then they exaggerate and blow it out of proportion for whatever reason. It could be for political reasons, it could be for social reasons, it could be for any reason, but mostly in the end it's about control and money. So whichever way you want to dice it, that's the way it happens. So as far as we are concerned, and because really the bottom line is, why do we keep hearing people talk this way without there's no funnel, basically, that because for us we have to be careful, because I told you I had a little issue with the channel, but I've not even been able to find out exactly what happened. But I think it's one of those things where they just try to see if you'll just let it go or whatever. But that's the thing, like, there's always a reason, and as far as I'm concerned, it's because you have to somehow stay weak so that you're not competitive. Because the thing is this, the people in power, what they fear is a really motivated young men, especially. That's why they've really reduced them to whining little bees that want the acceptance of women at all costs, that they lay down their lives for mediocre females all the time. Needy, always crying about, oh, I'm lonely this, I'm lonely that. Oh my goodness. And that's what's happening, in my opinion. Your instruments, your weapons are being blunted. That's why you have to listen to everybody, because a lot of people have very good ideas, but you have to be very careful, and you have to train yourself to listen in when people are trying to manipulate you into doing things you otherwise won't. That's why for me personally, I give my opinion, you can take it or leave it, but I hope that it helps at least try to, see things that are more obscure to see. That's the whole point, really, that we do this. So I don't know what you think about this video. You can go, I'll leave the rest of the video down below. It's quite interesting to watch, but the important part of it is really what you've seen, as far as I am concerned, that I wanted to address. So you can also go and subscribe to that channel of Nate, and of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Or is it the other way? Whichever way. And until next time, peace.